Okay, I'd like to call this special meeting to order on a continued items, 2725 Main Street. For the record, Steve Raguskas will be sitting in for Crystal Havey, and Lam Win will be sitting in for Mike Henrik. The rest are regular members. And for 2725 Main Street, Ms. Phillips, if you would read the one and only petition for the evening.
Yes, I will. 2725 Main Street, petition of the SAC Wireless, seeking approval of a site plan review and special case to modify the previous plan of development to add new telecommunications equipment to the exterior of the town hall cupola in an LB zone.
Okay, the petitioner present. Do you have anything new to present to the board, or anything for us to see? Or
I have from our Chicago office the head of zoning and site acquisition and all real estate matters, Mr. Jeffrey Boone, wishes to speak.
You flew him in all the way from Chicago for this?
Yes, sir.
Wow, this is serious stuff.
Now, we take you with very serious respect.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'm just here to answer any...
We need your name and
of course.
Address for the record, please.
Here we go. My name is Jeremy Boone. Address, I'll use the business address, 540 West Madison, Chicago, Illinois, 9th floor, 60661.
Would you spell your last name?
B-O-O-N-E, just like Daniel Boone.
Okay, thank you.
No, I'm just here to answer any additional questions. I sent out meeting notices as per the recommendation of the planning staff as well as the town attorney's office. This is a very simple swap. We applied per the regulations of 6409A and the additional definitions that the FCC enacted in 2014. The one thing about this is a very simple swap. We're not adding any new antennas. We're not adding any new equipment, cabinets. It's just removing something existing, putting in something kind of smaller in nature. And in regards to it, it meets all the criteria for the eligible facility request that 6409A allows us to do.
Okay. Did you bring any renderings at all? Anything that...
I did not.
Okay. Did you supply the mailings?
I have my portions of the green cards that I sent out. I'm waiting on all the final green cards to come in, but I have all the tracking numbers with me.
So so again, this is incomplete.
That's
what we need, the certificates. You can, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if you have the certificates of mailing, you can hand those in, and those will cover you for your certificates of mailing.
Absolutely.
And just for the record, the town hall did receive a copy of the notification letter. It was sent to the town staff, to the CAO's office, and that was forwarded to my office. We have that in the file here.
Question to the zoning administrator. Did we establish whether or not it was a requirement that they sent out the notice?
Well, so here's the deal on the notice, and we've talked about this a few other times in some other applications in the past. Connecticut state statute requires that we advertise in the local newspaper. Local regulations here, the zoning regulations require that we send out, the applicants send out letters to the abutters on certain applications, as well as posting the property with a sign that there is a zoning matter to be held for a parcel. I think almost all applicants do their best to try to send out those letters. and meet that requirement. However, I just know from a fact with talking with council here, even though it's a local requirement, state statute trumps local requirements. So if anything, this application was ever appealed, let's say someone took issue that maybe they don't have their certificates with them, it is not defective to the application if the mailers were not sent. I can tell you that, well, after speaking with the applicant, or at least reading correspondences that they were sent, Town Hall has received the certified letter as well. So my advice would be that although they don't, I'll just finish explaining before we check back in. I would recommend that the Zoning Commission proceed regardless of the letters going out, and from a legal perspective.
That's what I needed.
Okay.
I just searched everything, and I did not search my pocket, so.
Okay,
These are all the
Glasses on the forehead.
yeah, right.
I didn't just do a budding, I did 125 feet of the property. So there should have been 21 notices.
Are you aware of the fact that all approvals in the past have said that it must maintain historical integrity, and these have not been done? We've pretty much been ignored.
The only approval I was looking at, especially in regards to the definitions of the eligible facility, were the approval to paint to match from 2000, which is why we filed in the way I did.
And moving the equipment from a low-profile position to the center of the opening is a major change from the original approval and will further deteriorate the historical integrity of our cupola.
I would believe so. That's not something I wanted to risk a new filing with a new design that may or may not be approved, especially with the technical limitations of the antennas, which is why we applied as an eligible facility as per 6409A and the FCC definitions.
Okay, anybody else have any other questions? Mr. Lam?
I have a question related to the petition. It's shown on here that we are adding new telecommunication equipment, but you stated that we are not.
It's your definition of add, but what we're doing, we're removing the existing and we're replacing it with new equipment in the existing spots.
In the existing spot, okay.
No other questions? Seeing none. We got, okay, so we don't even have to close it. Yep, need a motion to close this hearing?
In favor
Public-
or against? You have to ask.
Oh.
Sorry. I know, but
Nobody here.
just to be safe,
Is anybody,
I'm in favor.
just in case there's anyone in the
is
hallway.
anybody here who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone in favor? Anyone in opposition? Seeing none, have a motion to close by Ms. Phillips, second by Mr. Vacola. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And could we have a motion to close the public hearing by Mr. Agouskas, second by Mr. Lamb? Mr. Nguyen, sorry. Sorry about that. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So moved. And Ms. Phillips.
I'd like to make a motion to approve this application.
We have to take it off the table first.
Oh, I make a motion to take it off this application off the table.
Motion by Ms. Phillips, second by Mr. Agouskas. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to accept this application.
Motion by Ms. Phillips to approve. Do I have a second for that? Mr. Agouskas. Any conversation or discussion on the matter? Well, I'm still not satisfied with it not being, holding up the integrity of the historical nature that we really would like to see in one of our, I feel, our gems in the town of Stratford, as Town Hall may be. But, Ms. Phillips?
I certainly appreciate and agree that we want to keep our cupola and our facade of the town hall looking as historically accurate as possible. What I do appreciate that in spite of the history of the other contractors who put up the existing equipment who did not do it to the way we had specified, this is not the same contractor. And I do like the fact that this particular equipment will be smaller and less obtrusive, which is an improvement. And I don't want to negate the fact that this equipment will improve the capacity of our telecommunications in this town considerably, because the future is 5G. And if we don't move forward and we don't keep up, it will seriously affect our ability from public safety and onward. And I expect that other telecommunications companies will come forward as well.
Anyone else have anything else to add to that? We have a motion by Ms. Phillips, second by Mr. Roguskis. All those in favor say aye. Oh, okay. Yes, along that line, there's a couple conditions that we would like to add to that, Ms. Phillips, as far as paint to match, and what was the,
That's the only condition that the zoning commission is going to have the right
Yes.
to be able to attach to this approval.
And that was one of the commitments that was made by the applicant, but I will make it as a stipulation that it needs to match the same color and white, yes. I will make that motion and that a change, yes.
okay. Mr. Roguskis, you accept that? Okay. All
Would-
those,
Can I have a question too as well?
sure.
Would we be able to, they are stating that they are going to make the equipment smaller and less visible. Can that be a stipulation? Because a lot of times we do see them, different contractor coming back and making it worse than it is.
Well, I think they've already stated that in their original proposal, so I think that's something that's going to happen.
Okay,
I don't think we have to make it a stipulation even, oh, man.
okay,
It would be my advice to add no new conditions of approval,
okay,
based on the advice we've received from council here.
okay.
Okay, all those in favor say aye. I'm opposed, passes 4-1. Okay. Approval of minutes from July 24th, 2019. Motion by Ms. Phillips, second by Mr. Vacola. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Campsite, nothing. Zoning enforcement, nothing. Accessory apartment, nothing. Sediment and erosion, no. Planning projects, other items. Mr. Kelly. By the skin of your teeth. You couldn't have hit another traffic light or something? We would have been out of here.
Just hit the button.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I'm here this evening to discuss the Alchemy Development Associations versus Zoning Commission of the Town of Stratford, and would ask the commission to take the item into executive session for the purpose of discussing strategy and negotiation with regards to pending litigation.
Where would you like to hold this executive session?
So you can go down to my office if you want.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, need a motion to go into executive session down in the zoning office. And who do you need into that, Mr. Kelly?
Mr. Chairman, that would consist of the town attorney's office, the commissioners, and the planning and zoning administrator.
Okay. Do I have a motion for Mr. Nguyen, second by Mr. Vacola? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, so moved. We will return right after executive session. Okay, I'd like to resume tonight's meeting. No action is needed on the executive session. Goal settings, we have none. Have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Ms. Phillips, second by Mr. Nguyen. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? So moved. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Kelly.
Thanks, everyone, for coming
Thanks.
out tonight. Yeah, Steve.